This week's question came in as what are some of the different ways or some of the different opportunities that we can leverage to support and manage retention as it relates to health benefits? And then the conversation went in a different direction, and we stayed focused on perimenopause and menopause and how support is actually a retention tool. I know, or at least it can be used and leveraged as a retention tool. While there are other retention strategies, and you probably have utilized and you know many of them, I wanted to stay and shift the conversation on the missed opportunity part of the question because I personally do believe we can actually get in front of it as professional women who are leading other women and as business owners. There is absolutely a retention point. So let's talk about it. We are back with another episode of Ask HR. This is where you, the employees, and we, people leaders, get HR related questions answered. We exchange perspective and co create people standards and practical solutions. We are your external human resources department, balancing employee advocacy with business accountability and proving that great workplaces can and should be both humane and high performing while keeping the business moving forward. I'm your host, Yisin Batil-Young. In today's workforce, you may already know this, perimenopause and menopause is a daily reality for us women at every level. We are in the boardroom, we're on the front line, we're leading our teams, and we're running entire organization. It's not about titles or paychecks. It's just showing up. And like many of you, that's part of my current reality and a story to share in a different episode. Here's what I see as it relates to retention and health benefits. It is very hidden and it is costing. Most women just don't talk about it at work. It feels risky. And then there's the internal and external noises. Will I be seen as less capable or less reliable, even less promotable? So that means the symptoms get managed in silence until that silence turns into an exit. And that equals the turnover, and that is what's costing. We as employers and business owners, we rarely see it coming because it's not showing up as a line item. It's the actual turnover. It's also a disengagement, and it's a resignation later that seems to come out of nowhere, but in actuality, it didn't come from anywhere. So when the workplace seems to take more away and is not making room or is more flexible, we women, we don't just struggle quietly. We're already disengaged. We're taking a step back, getting through the day, putting out the fires, and then we leave. So that is not sudden. It's just unspoken. Here's the opportunity. Companies like yours that break the silence first can keep the talent that everyone else is losing. And don't think that supporting this level of health benefit or wellness is a charity. As a matter of fact, it's a strategy. It is not a cost center, and the companies who are treating it that way, you're going to just hold on to the leaders everybody else is letting go. And as we continued the conversation, we walked through a couple of quick wins centered more around retention and health benefits. And so think about covering more within your health benefits, which most companies and businesses do. For example, as it relates to perimenopause and menopause, if hormone replacement therapy, mental health support, or symptom management aren't covered in your benefits, then that's a gap. But it's also an opportunity. So once you understand that, then you can close the gap where you can. Another quick win is to build in flexibility. I mentioned before that these symptoms are showing up anyways because symptoms are not running on a 9 to 5 schedule. You know what I'm talking about. And so the flexibility that we can offer, even remote options, cost little and do protect a lot. Yet another option is stronger job at training our leaders. I do find it that most leaders are avoiding the conversation altogether because they just don't know what to say. It's not because they don't care, but if they end up saying the wrong thing, then it's probably coming across insensitive. Altogether, think about it this way. You have an employee who can request an adjustment around flexibility and or is looking for their benefits to do a little bit more without fear of being seen as less capable. It's someone worth keeping. Here's the bottom line. Every one of these costs less than losing a woman in leadership and rebuilding what she knew. The support isn't that expensive. The turnover is. And before we wrap up, let's take a moment and learn more about our sponsor. Ask HR is proudly sponsored by YP Personnel Management and Consulting, a strategic, tactical, practical HR solutions consulting firm. YPPMC goes beyond the traditional consulting. Whether you need strategic HR planning or practical day-to-day support, we've got you covered. Visit YPPMC and learn how we can help. We are your resources at work. And so whether you're at this point of your organization or not, perimenopause and menopause will touch a larger portion of the overall workforce. Whether you choose to acknowledge it now or later, and one of the options that you have is whether you're treating it as a blind spot or you're ready to incorporate it into your retention strategy as a health or wellness benefit. These conversations are happening on a day-to-day, and they're probably already a percentage of your own workforce within your organization. And so, back to the retention point, make it safe so that women in your workforce are not managing their symptoms in silence and turning it into an exit. That is just not a wellness issue. Again, this is a missed and retention opportunity, and it is one that most companies are missing entirely. We definitely need to continue the conversation and talk through and share more quick wins, the ones that helps you and are happening in your organization. Let us know in the comments. And that's going to wrap up this week's conversation of Ask HR. Thank you for continuing to support our show. If you have any questions for the show, send askhr@yppmc.com. Until next time.